This week we have news from Ginos, we have acquisitions going on, we've got news from the SEC, but before we get into all of that, we're going to look at the bigger movers and shakers for the week, and stay tuned right till the end of the video because we're also going to hop in and have a look at some charts for the week. So first of all, let's look at the big movers and shakers, and here we are now in CoinGecko on the top gainers and losers page. And we can see here that BFI coin is up 51%. We've got Augur up 47%. Micro Vision Chain up 26%. DeFi Pulse Index up 19%. Mix Marvel up 18%. On the negative side, moving downwards, we've got Adventure Gold down 27%. Dream Machine Token down 22%. Paribus down 20%. QuickSwap Old also down 20%. So they're the big movers and the big shakers for the week. But let's hop over and have a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and the top 100. And we can see in the top 100 over the last 7 days, Bitcoin is down 4.5%. Ethereum is down 5.5%. BNB is also down 5.5%. And if we sort this by the gainers and the losers of just the top 100, we've got Flex Coin being the biggest gainer in the top 100, with Synthetics coming in next. And if we look at the biggest gainers, we've got Rocket Pool that's down 20% and Phantom that's also down 17% this week. We can see the market cap is 1.24 trillion, and in the last 24 hours that's down 1.2%. So let's hop over to the first news story today. And the first news story that I want to share with you today is the fact that the SEC have formally accepted BlackRock's Spot Bitcoin ETF application, and they've also started to accept some of the others. Now, this doesn't mean that it has been approved. It means that it's accepted and that the clock starts ticking from when it was accepted to the date in which they either have to come back with more questions or give an approval or a denial. Now, all the other applications as well have also been accepted, and on the first submission they were told by the SEC that they needed additional information. They gave this additional information in terms of partnering with Coinbase for surveillance, and now they've gone ahead with the application and they have accepted the application. So everybody's been talking about these ETFs and the impact that they may have on the market, and it's yet to be seen, but it should drive serious institutional investment. It should also increase retail investment through derivatives rather than directly through self-sovereignty and holding Bitcoin themselves. Also in the news this week, we did have more news about the Ripple case and the Ripple partial win or win in terms of the fact that it's not a security. Now, I don't normally share stuff from LinkedIn, and I think I will because there's always a lot of really useful information on LinkedIn. And Anthony Daly put this post up there during the week. He said a temperature check, Ripple had claimed significant victory in its token XRP, and it's been seen as a software, not a security. What this mean for Web3 and blockchain? So the announcement was mixed in terms of outcomes from crypto, that it could be challenged. The SEC could challenge the ruling. However, the ruling will forever be referenced as the case of crypto versus the regulators. So how are we feeling about the future of blockchain, crypto and Web3 today? And he's done a poll, and the results of this poll I found extremely interesting. And this is really what I wanted to share with you today. The results of this poll, the poll is, what will XRP's win in court mean for crypto, blockchain and Web3? And this was answered by 434 people at the time of this recording. And at this time, 50% think it's going to give it increased adoption. 17% of people believe that there's going to be no change, and 32% of people are saying it's not over yet and beware. So there's an awful lot more people, or 50% of the people that have taken this poll are seeing good things and accelerated adoption because of this SEC ruling. And moving on to the next story, and the next story, the headline caught my attention, but then the details of it really disappointed me. Crypto employment sector jumps nearly 160% in the last 3 years. 160% is fantastic, but 160% of basically nothing isn't very much, and it stands to at only 190,000. And I find that very hard to believe. I'm in the crypto circle, you're in the crypto circle. I think there's like an awful lot more people working in the crypto circle than 190,000, but it depends on what they're classifying as the crypto circle, because the crypto circle does not necessarily include the Web3 circle or include blockchain technologies that aren't too involved with tokenization and stuff like that. So I just thought that headline was super interesting, and I really wanted to share it with you. Crypto employment sector jumps 160% in the last 3 years and stands at 190,000. Moving on now, and Ginos launches a Visa card that lets you spend self-custody crypto in Europe, and soon they're going to do the US and Hong Kong. Now, this is really good news. It is a Visa card. Ginos is a well-regarded blockchain project in the developed community, and it's working to demonstrate the broader applicability of Web3 by bridging the gap between self-custody crypto wallets and traditional payment methods such as Visa. So the Ginos Card is a Visa card that allows users to spend their funds from self-custody wallets anywhere the payment method is accepted. Now, how is that actually doing this? Well, so if we scroll down here, we can see that Ginos has partnered with Monerium, and this is a company that offers euro-dominated stablecoin regulated in the EU. So it allows users to connect their wallets to an international bank account number, an IBAN number, and then a standardized system of identifying bank accounts across borders that is widely used in Europe. When users send money from the bank account to the wallet, the payments are minted as e-euros on the blockchain, such as on Ethereum or Ginos, and will show up in their wallet. Alternatively, then, when users sign off payments, these digital euros are burned and sent as euros back into their bank account. And this is how technically they're managing to do this. We also had a large seed round this month as well, Cosmic Wire, and these are a Web3 and blockchain solutions technology company, and they've raised 30 million, which is being led by Solana and Polygon. And Cosmic Wire is actually building on top of Solana, another notch to Solana's belt. And I know the price action on Solana has been pretty poor, but in terms of building and people actually using Solana, we know that the Helium network moved over. We know that one of the other networks, I can't remember offhand, moved over to Solana as well because of its speed, because of how cheap it is to use. But we still have that issue on Solana of the centralized nature of the distribution of tokens. Now, this company, basically what they're doing is they aim to help artists monetize their IP from Web 2 to Web 3 through its focus on immersive storytelling. The newly raised funds will accelerate the development of the company's decentralized apps that will enable seamless data transfer and interoperability across different blockchains. And interoperability is going to be one of the major buzzes for actual proper Web3 adoption and blockchain adoption. The company's infrastructure will be built on the Solana network, as we said. Their Metaverse SDK solution significantly reduces developer time of high fidelity 3D browser-based metaverse experience with e-commerce of both physical Web3 digital products, content, payment solutions, avatars, all integrated. So these, in addition to this, Cosmic Wire has also been selected in Google Cloud's Web3 startup program as well. So this is a massive seed round, and it's great to see more stuff being built on Solana that will just make adoption a little bit easier. Now, moving on and talking a little bit about an acquisition now, and Thirdweb acquires Paper. Now, Thirdweb is a no-code, low-code solution in the Web3 market. It's easy to go on, and for people that have absolutely no coding experience at all, mint an NFT, create an NFT drop, get an iframe embedded into a normal website, and without the need to know blockchain or coding. Now, what they've also done now is they've acquired Paper. And Paper's technology means that from now on, developers can make the purchase of NFTs more accessible for their future customers. From now on, an email address is all that will be needed to create a wallet, expanding the potential audience for brands, developers, and Web3 in facilitating growth. And this is going to be part of the Thirdweb platform. So you'll be able to integrate with email addresses for people to mint NFTs, making it again so much easier for people to onboard. But what surprised me most was I wasn't actually aware that Thirdweb were that big that they were in a position to start acquiring other companies. So that goes to show the need for no-code solutions in the Web3, and the crypto and the blockchain space. So now that we've covered lots of the news for the week, let's hop over and have a look at the charts. And last week we seen the dominance of Bitcoin start to drop a little bit, and this is the BCT dominance chart. Now I'm just going to make it zoom in a little bit here, and we could see that we've been in this range from here from April 2021, that we seen this as resistance, we've seen it as resistance, and this is Bitcoin dominance now. We've seen it as resistance over here, and then we managed to break through that resistance. Now what looks like is happening is that now that we've broken through that resistance, that we're coming back down and we're testing this now as support. And this is quite common to see, and we can see it took quite a number of times to actually break through that resistance level. So I wouldn't be surprised if it also acted as support for some time. Now, it was the XRP ruling that really kicked off the altcoins a little bit there the week before last, and Solana took off, and Matic's done a little bit of movement. But it's the Bitcoin dominance chart that we need to look at if we want to see where the play is. Is the play going to be in Bitcoin, or is the play going to be in Ethereum and in alts? And if we break below here and don't hold this as support, or even if we continue here to just hold this as support here and not break either up or down, just travel sideways a little bit on this for a while, we could see a bigger play in altcoins, more of a play in altcoins than in Bitcoin. But it's yet to play out and see what happens, but definitely a chart to keep an eye on. And that's the daily chart. If we have a quick look at the weekly chart, we're seeing the exact same thing. We had support, we had resistance, 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 and then we smashed through the resistance. Now we're coming back down to retest that. So let's jump over and have a quick look at the Bitcoin chart for a moment. And we can see on the Bitcoin chart, as the dominance is holding off, the price of Bitcoin is also kind of holding in there around the 30,000 mark. And the 30,000 mark is fairly significant because it acted as support all around here and here. And then we broke through it, it acted as support, we broke through it, went down below it, we tested it again as resistance, and we slightly broke through it, and now we're looking at it in support again. And this is on the weekly chart. Let's just turn on the whole moving average for a moment, because I'm sure you all know that I'm quite a follower of the whole, and this week is looking to be closing right in that hole. Let's have a look at the monthly chart, and we can see on the monthly chart for Bitcoin that we're still below that hole, but we are still in an uptrend. So it'll be interesting to see now, will we consolidate here for a while, or will we go back down test a little bit of the support down here, maybe around 24,000 before continuing up. But as long as we're below the whole on the monthly time frame, the monthly hasn't flipped into 100% of positive territory yet. Now this chart here is the halving chart, and our next halving is in and around here in April 2024. Having a look at the Ethereum chart on a monthly basis, we are still well below the whole, and we can see that we are on support here for quite some time in and around the price of 19,000. We did go up to just over 2,000 during the week, but last week we did drop down to the 1,600 mark as well. So there's quite some swings happening there. But again, is the play going to be in Ethereum now? And it's the Bitcoin dominance that we need to look at to get our heads around this. Now, one of the charts that I am looking at the moment is the stacks chart. And if we come over onto the daily stacks chart, we can see, and I'm just going to squash this in a little bit here. We can see that we had this downward pattern which we broke through some time ago, and if you look at this downward pattern that we're in at the moment, it's very similar to the downwards channel that we were producing here going back from April 23 all the way to June. And again, we could see another pattern form just like this. Now, it does look a little bit like a bull flag. Let me go into the Bitcoin chart, and I'm going to go into the weekly Bitcoin chart. And we can see from this chart quite easily, we have these downward sloping channels that then shoot upwards, which is an indication of a bull move going to happen. Now, if we have these upward sloping ones after a down move, the market tends to go down. We see we have another upward sloping one here, but these downward sloping are bull flags. And we can see if we look at the stacks chart, and that's the weekly, if I go back onto the daily, that this is very much looking like it could be a bull flag. And it's been in play now since June. It's been in play now a month. We are under the hole, but the price has been squeezing and it seems to have found support here. So I think when the hole comes down to reach this, that it might break back up against the hole again on this one. We've looked at DOT now for a while, and I've said how disappointed that I've been in the DOT chart in general. We've been in this range here now since May 23. We broke down below it for a while, but we're back up trading within this range. And if we look at this on the weekly chart, we can see when you zoom out, there's not really much going on the DOT chart at all. So if there's a chart you'd like me to look at for you, do drop a comment below this video. And if you've liked this video, please do smash that like button to help the algorithm and support this channel a little bit. I'll be back next week with the updates in the news, the crypto market, and to look at some charts. Goodbye now.